Welcome to Whiskey and Whitetails, the podcast for those who hunt with a passion and drink with a purpose. We're your host. I'm Gus.
I'm Matt.
Awesome. As always, thanks to our Patreon for their loyal support. Thanks to the Waypoint Network for having us, of course. And thank you, our listeners, for subscribing, sharing, commenting, and all the other ways you guys support us. We greatly appreciate it. This week, we are going to peel back the onion a little bit on Whiskey and Whitetails and us and what we're all about. We have a lot of new listeners, some folks that have reached out to collaborate, and we're just going to share a little bit of insight about what we're all about, what we have kind of planned for the future, and where we want to take this thing. So stay tuned.
Hello.
Hey,
How
you
are
are feeling much better than the last time we spoke.
Yeah, I've got a pip in my step. I was a little hungover last week.
Dude, yeah.
It's too heavy back-to-back days, you know.
That'll do that, man. Those Charleston waterways are will make you overhydrate.
They're brutal. It's like a thing now.
It just goes down so easy when you're on those boats.
You have no idea how easy a beer goes down on a boat if you've never done it.
Yeah.
Especially like with friends and everybody's having a good time and there's people cooking food. It's just
Yep. Even just like the times you and I have gone out fishing, just music, fishing, spot to spot, before you realize it, it's like I'm just gonna have like just a 6-pack for the day. And before you know it, we're like cruising by other boats, tossing them a 20 for them to throw us a 12-pack across the water while we're
we did do that, didn't we? We got beer. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I bought a 24-pack. I left 4 in the truck. So it's like that's 10 each. Neither of us are driving or boating, so it doesn't matter.
Nice.
And we ran out. I'm sure the majority of it was me, but they had whiskey, and I was like, I'm not doing whiskey this time.
That's famous last words.
I said they had whiskey. I brought whiskey. But
Sure.
I brought that burnt church. We already talked about that, though.
Anita's Choice?
Yeah.
We didn't talk about that. That's good stuff. I like it a lot.
Yeah, Chris took me with a bottle, so I brought it over to the food boat with the intentions of the food boat having it because they had a Firefly bottle that I hated. And he was like, what do you think about Firefly? I didn't say anything. I just was like, well, I've had some stuff that's good. And he's like, you had Ben and Steel? I was like, yep. You know? And so he's like, try some.
Conversations.
Yeah, I know. Because you don't want to, because obviously they were on the boat with him and, you know,
Sure.
You don't want to talk trash, but
no, I don't even like talking trash about major bottles that people just like. I don't want to trash something that you like. It's just not it just may not be my thing.
Yeah. Ben and Steel is not my thing. It never has been. But yeah, so I brought it there for them to have. It's like another local distillery. And it got killed. So
it's good
not
stuff.
by me. But I mean, that's what it's for. I'm sipping today, though. I am going to have some of this Ezra Brooks from the Reserve Bar.
Nice.
We did the podcast with them, but if you didn't know, you can go to Reserve Bar. You can just Google Reserve Bar Type Flight Series, and they have a ton of single barrels, and they're all really good. They sent us 6 now, and they're not all open, but every single one I have open has been delicious. You've got 3 of them, right?
Yeah, I've got 3. I've only popped 1. I kind of have plans for the other 2, content-wise, so I haven't opened them yet.
Nice.
But being honest on this channel is often, as you know, we're always honest. The Keeper's Heart, which I had, and I have I cooked something to go along with it. It was decent, not my favorite thing, but it has some very, very pronounced. It's aged in a stout barrel, and so it has some really like dark flavors, chocolate and like leather and stuff that were. But it tastes a little younger than I care for, but it's still a good pour.
Yeah.
So definitely would not caution or shy anybody away from trying it out.
I haven't tried that one, but I'm not a huge fan of beer finished whiskeys, even like the Wolf whiskey, which is extremely expensive and hard to get. I don't like that one either. It was just too hoppy.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know that when Rory said that IPAs is basically most of the time it's bad beer and they hide the badness with the hops. I didn't know that, but now it makes it even more that I'll never drink hoppy beer again.
I've heard that before. It's leave it up to Americans to take something that was supposed to be an indication of trash and make it a giant cult following, essentially.
It's huge, dude. People love hoppy. Like you're either in club IPA or you're not. There's no in between. I used to be. We used to drink a bunch of it. That Red Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love it.
Yeah,
But it was
I mean,
also $5 pitchers.
I don't mind some IPAs, but there are some that are just like, it's just too much, man. And like people who are on that train, they're similar to your Blantons. Like it's the end all be all to them. It's that or nothing. And I'm just like, I don't know. There's actually a lot of other good beer out there. I think I'll try something else.
I'll tell you locally, Hop Art from Coast.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that.
Yeah,
I think that's a good IPA, but I mean that's about as much as I'll do.
Yeah,
And I'm not going to do it often.
I generally avoid them. There's not very many of them I like. I have really gotten on the Goza and the sours a lot the last couple of years. I like trying those out a lot.
Yeah, I'm all about some like that blood orange Goza from Anderson Valley.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Money. I wish it was year round.
When the weather's hot outside, if I'm grilling, dude, I'll crush. What do they come in, a 4-pack or a 6-pack? Whatever it is, they're like the 16-ounce cans.
Yeah,
and I'll crush the whole thing.
Do you like the Westbrook white tie?
That's okay. Yeah,
I like that one. I'll get that one if they have it on tap at a bar, and I don't want to drink Miller Lite. That's what I'll get.
Yeah.
This bottle's good. I was reading over the flavor because I just wanted to see if I was pulling out what he was pulling out, but the nuttiness straight out of the bottle, I could smell it. I don't really taste too much of it, but there is a lot of cinnamon, good flavors in there.
That's the that's the note that you like and find in a lot of the wild turkey stuff you like.
The nuttiness is I'm gonna find that in a lot of the Brown Foreman stuff.
Oh, Brown Foreman stuff, yeah.
Yeah, the Ezra Brooks and the other one I got, the Rebel Yell, those usually have some nuttiness in it, which is the only reason I was partial to them. I'm interested to see what that barrel bourbon tastes like.
Oh yeah. That's the cigar blend, right? Oh no, you said barrel as in the one behind me, the one that we got from. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about
Rock
I am too. It's I'll grab it real quick.
Yeah, do it, and I'm gonna beatbox the whole time. You can't hear me now. And he's back.
What are you talking shit about?
Nothing.
I'll have to hear it later. Yeah, so this was finished in an Isla single malt Scotch cask,
which I'm wondering if it's the appropriate amount. You know,
it's I everything else that has been pretty good from them. So I'd imagine they wouldn't have picked it if it wasn't solid. But an Isla Scotch can be pretty. The flavors can be very overpowering for
your palate.
For a normal bourbon drinker.
Yeah,
American whiskey drinker. So it's got to complement it really well. I imagine it does. It's
what did that guy say in that comment? He said, we were talking about Scotch, and he said,
yeah,
Burden, not bourbon, but Burden made with corn.
Is corn based.
Corn based.
Whiskey is rye.
Was rye based, yeah.
And it was like I told you I must have started a reply to that like 15 times and then just deleted it, put my phone down, came back to it, and finally I was just like, this guy is so lost right now. It's just not even worth it.
I can't do it. Yeah, I saw it and I was like, I don't ever reply on Facebook. I just happened to I got a notification and clicked it, and that was what popped up, and I was reading it.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I was starting to type it out, and I got like 3 sentences in, and I was like, I'm not even 20% yet of explaining. So I just deleted it and was like, I'm not going to do it.
Well, and that's if there had been an easy like 2-sentence response or even 1-sentence response, I guess you could have just said wrong and just left it at that.
Yeah. Then you're a dick.
Yeah. Then I'm an asshole. But
as you know about us, we don't want to be perceived as dicks.
You're not going to be able to read it. It's 124 proof. Which should be interesting.
It's like this one's 120 and does not taste like 120.
Oh, you're right. The Keeper's Heart is like 115, and to me it drinks a little hotter than that.
Yeah,
which is why I think it's young, but still good. It paired well with the meal I made, and I'll show that. I'll post that sometime this week.
Nice. The shepherd's pie.
Yeah, shepherd's pie.
Yeah, looking forward to that. So that ASMR video did well. It's at almost 6,000 views right now.
Nice.
So we should probably do more of that.
Yeah, I have to play around with some ideas for doing that.
I mean, I definitely don't want to be a page full of
no.
Just whiskey pours.
But we can have fun with that. Like, go ahead.
I was gonna say I want to do it with I want to do it with archery.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Nocking an arrow and
Yeah, I was
release.
thinking archery, and then also like just
sound
your
you make when you pull back.
get it up close to my my shoulder, and you can hear it. It sounds like a bowl of Rice Krispies every time I pull a bow back.
Just add crinkle wrap. Dude, have you listened to Cameron Haynes shoot? He makes a ton of noise. I think he's getting old. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
he's also pulling back 90 pounds like an idiot.
Yeah, you know, you know, I'm glad you said that. Josh Bomar posted a video of him deadlifting like some ridiculous amount of weight. I don't know, plates after plates, right? And then he does a deadlift, and then he stops midway through the deadlift, and like he's just doing a deadlift, and he tricks everybody, and he starts doing rows with it. Like, all right, cool, man. Like, I get it. Your back is huge, awesome. And then he goes on about, you know, people ask me all the time why I pull such a heavy bow. It's because I train, it's because I work hard so I can. It's like, well, I get that, but like 90% of the animals in North America do not require you to shoot it with 95 pounds. I don't know. I just think it's overkill sometimes, but you know, if you can do it, you know, more power to you, whatever.
I mean, if he's shooting like the White House or something, maybe he needs to pull back. But
I think most of it's for the gram. That's what I think. It's why I think they do it so they can say they do, and that's it.
I think so too. Yeah, Hoyt made me a 90-pound bow. Yeah, I actually stepped down to 60 pounds this year. I went down, not for any physical reasons. The arrow that I was looking at, flew better at 60 pounds.
Yeah, if you have everything tuned up and dialed in right, then that's all that matters. You know, and depending on what you're hunting, you know, we're primarily hunting smallish whitetail in Southeast.
Might be small whitetail. You want to go through some of these pictures?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna share the screen. Even though every time I do this, it screws up like everything for my editing. All right, I don't know if I can full screen this. I guess it's as good as we're gonna get. So that was the first thing. So I put it up yesterday.
Yeah. Did they come like before morning?
There was a fawn screwing around at like 3 a.m.
Okay.
And then there was nothing until this. This is the first thing that went off 6:31 in the morning. Nice. Like 3 does meandering around this field. And which is all I was really looking for was does. So this is the first one. I made a fake scrape and peed in it just for fun, just because I'm curious. And I also put this in there's a field kind of behind it.
Yeah, I see that.
So this is a really tight spot. And I did that intentionally because I wanted to see how many deer would pack in there. Because if they were not coming in there, then now I know they're skittish.
Sure.
But as you'll see shortly, they did not care.
No, not at all. You should be able to see. I mean, there's nothing that you don't already know, but for listeners that aren't sure, you know, from seeing where these deer are coming to the attractant and stuff that's out there, the corn, and you know, if you can't use corn wherever you're at, whatever. But then from here, being able to see the path that they're coming to and from, and setting up along those paths or finding pinch points along that path, it's perfect. Man, that's a nice looking buck.
Dude, that's a 10-point in Johns Island, South Carolina. That's a coastal 10-point buck.
Yeah.
Doesn't look very big, but
and honestly, he's probably 2.5, maybe 3.5 years old.
Yeah. And
he's not gonna cape out, you know, at 190 pounds, but that's a nice deer for the low country.
I'm not gonna
we're talking like coastal swamp. So
yeah.
These are solid deer.
The other thing I've noticed is the coat color here. So I'm leaning more towards this buck being a 3.5 and this brown one still being a 2.5.
Yeah, it's odd. It's interesting.
Because you'll see it as more pictures come in. So some of the more mature bucks seem to be this darker color. He looks like he's been shot before.
Oh. Let's see if you can you'll have to see if you get any closer pictures. It'll be easier to tell if you do. Can you turn on video remotely with that camera?
Its video's on, but you have to pull it from the SD card.
Bummer. Because it'd be probably easier to tell if you could see it moving around.
But here's 6:57 in the morning. We got 3 bucks there now. 4 point. This is the weirdest looking 8 point, but he is an 8 point.
Kind of almost a little.
He looks bigger though. Like head to head, he looks like a sturdier deer. But he is that lighter color. But now we got all these. I mean, this whole section here, this tree is basically right here. So this is like a 5 foot group that they're all sitting in.
Well, this is a perfect example of the pre-rut bachelor group. These guys are hanging out. They're getting to know each other, learning each other's scent, being familiar with one another. And then as they break apart and go their separate ways and establish their ranges and their sort of their area for the rut, they'll recognize each other's scent and know, if they're intruding on someone that's higher or lower on their in the pecking order.
Right.
This is cool. It's cool to be able to see.
But this one, I mean, this split main beam here,
Oh, cool.
I think he's bigger than this 10-point. The 10-point standing behind him.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they put on weight between now and November.
But he's got that kicker right there that I love.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh man, that's nice. That's a cool little group, man.
Yeah, this split main beam though. That's August 15th. I'm coming to find you, buddy.
Oh, you know what? I'm looking at some of their coats, man. It looks like maybe some of them are. It's too late in the year to be like shedding a winter coat or a cold weather coat. So, but it looks like
wet.
Two different.
There's
could
lake
be wet
on the other side of that clearing.
Oh yeah, it could be wet.
It's not on this property. It's on a neighboring property.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they all just kind of hung out, and then at 7:00 they were gone, and then the does were still out there feeding the young and whatever.
This was this morning.
This morning, yeah.
Okay, so you'll see if they come back around tonight. Then
yeah. So this doe and her twins came over.
Nice
at 7:22 in the morning, and that's it. There's nothing else over there.
It's a good sign, man. Having twins is a good indication of good holding capacity and good fawning environment for the does.
I think it's a healthy. I would show the property, but I'm obviously not going to pull that up on here.
Nah,
but it's 50 acres, and stop sharing. It's 50 acres, and it's basically at one end it's a neighborhood. At the other end, there's this huge lake with a neighborhood, and then the other two sides of it are just people live there. It's like property. So this guy, he had this land for his kids, and I guess his kids, he wanted them to do 4-wheelers and hunt and fish and all that stuff, and so he bought this land for them. And I guess they grew up rich and are not interested in the outdoors at all. So he posted it for sale. How much do you think he wants for it? 50 acres on Johns Island.
I don't know, man. 200,000 at least.
860.
Oh.
Yeah. If it was 200, I probably would have bought it. Sold my house and moved there.
Tells you how out of touch I am with property values out there.
That price is high. I think he just doesn't want to sell it, and so he's like, "I will sell it for 860."
Right? Yeah. That's
I was thinking 4 something.
That's probably I don't need to sell it, but if somebody wants it for this price, you can have it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
like a price. So that's a price that old guys put on classic cars at Cars and Coffee that they don't want to get rid of, but they will if you want it bad enough.
Exactly. Yep. So it's I'm going to do that opening day that morning. I want to go out there and see what I can plug, and then head up to the because I'll have way more information by then. But if they're truly gone by 8 a.m. every morning, then,
especially if they're not coming back in the evening.
Yeah, which I haven't gotten any notifications yet. So
you're going to make me go buy.
It's 5:30, but
you're going to make me go buy damn cellular cameras.
It's pretty sick because now I'm not worried. I'm not wondering. And
it's also you're not worried, but how obsessed are you with wanting to check it all?
Constant. Andy last night, Andy was like, "Do I need to take it away?" I was like, "No, I'll close it out."
That's funny.
I'm just sitting there refreshing, like, how come this isn't working? I know there's deer there, but I guess there weren't.
Probably find an old phone that just works on Wi-Fi and put the app on there and just put it away and only have access to that. Like,
so it has the option to upload immediately or twice a day or once a day or 4 times a day. And you can set what time it uploads. So I'm going to end up doing that.
Yeah. It's probably smart
because every time something goes, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Everything stops and I pull that phone out. I mean, it's only been one day, but it could be the new toy thing,
Yeah. You'll get over it, I'm sure. Especially once they start, developing a predictable pattern, nothing new showing up. It'll get boring until the rut comes around and you start seeing different deer show up.
Yeah. I just, I think it's a good spot. It's, thankful to be able to hunt it, but I really just wanted it for the does. I'm not really supposed to kill any of the bucks on there, but, I'm going to ask for forgiveness.
Yeah. Why not?
No, I'm going to clear it. I'm not going to shoot. I can't shoot that 10 point. But
Does he hunt out there at all?
Somebody he works with does, and that's how I got to connect.
Gotcha.
But can you hear that?
I heard something, but it's not clear what it is.
So it's every time we podcast, it's always right around this time, 5:30, and that's when I have the cat feeder.
Oh, okay.
You hear it? It's me going yum 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 yum, because I wanted the cats to get used to that word and associate it with food. It didn't work.
No, it doesn't work at all. That sucks.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So we need to. We were talking about it a little bit today, nailing down the trip to Rocco's dinner.
Yeah.
And for those that are interested, that is August the 26th in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yes, sir. Different location for anybody that's been in the last couple of years. At a different location this year.
Different location. And Patreon has, you just let us know if you want to go. We have available seats for Patreon members.
Yep.
If you want to go.
It is a ton of fun, man. The food's great. Always great. Great guests and speakers. The live auction is always a lot of fun. If you've never been to a live auction with a lot of hard to get and rare whiskey, it is really fun to see the amount of money that people pay for some of these bottles. And then the silent auction always has some really cool stuff. The gentleman that we've gotten to know, and his company is going to slip my mind, so forgive me, but he specializes in doing auctions for fundraising as an auctioneer, and I've never seen somebody work a crowd so good. He is fun to watch and worth going at just to watch him work a crowd.
Yeah. And if you own a business, if you've ever been like, man, I wish I could find a way to buy whiskey or hunting stuff with a tax write-off,
this would be the way.
Here you go. This is it. It just gives you a blank receipt at the end of the night for how much you donated, and that's the sounds done, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were talking about. I am running out of PTO very quickly. My paid time off.
Yeah.
So I can't take any days off for this. I'm gonna have to go up Friday after work, which, as you know, where we work, that will be a nightmare. So I'm gonna come home Friday after work and probably leave at like 7.
Just drive through the night.
Like what, 8.5 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
So either I drive halfway, get a crappy motel somewhere on the way, and then keep coming in the morning, or I drive through the night and have somewhere to sleep for a few hours before the dinner. Yeah. And I know that you plan on arriving that Friday night.
Yeah. So either whatever we decide to do, I know we talked about getting an Airbnb, whether we want to get an Airbnb just for Saturday to have a place to crash after and kind of hang out during the day and crash after the dinner. I'm cool with that, unless you mentioned something about some corporate rates for the hotel.
Yeah. So the corporate rates, we did get those. I sent you the link to that. But if we wanted to book Whiskey and Whitetails money, the Airbnb, and then like fend for yourself on Friday.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too. That's fine.
Word. I'm down with that.
Because I told Jessica I'll throw the blow up mattress and that fits in the bed of my truck with the pop up tent that fits in the bed, and we'll find a campground around there and just go camp Friday night and hang out.
Yeah, that works. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to be there way later. I don't want to be rolling to a campground at 4 a.m.
No. I'm leaving earlier in the day, but I don't want to pay for a whole night at an Airbnb just for us. Yeah, with company money. So.
Well, do we want to do the Airbnb, or do we want to stay in the hotel at that rate? Because it would actually be about the same price. We would just get 2 separate rooms.
Let's just get 2 separate rooms. That way we don't have to drive anywhere else. We can just walk there and back to the room like we did last time.
Problem solved. All right.
Yeah, let's do that.
We're going to do that. And then if you do want to come and you want to get a room there, let us know. We will send you the link for that corporate rate. It's like $100 cheaper. I think it was $250 when I looked, so $150 after fees and everything. So if you want to come to the dinner, let us know, and we'll shoot you over that information. Also, in Camp Hero news, the cigar blend that we picked at Starlight is available. So that is a charity bottle, which... Yeah.
I've been able to use that forever.
New product alert. Yeah, so you could get that if you would like. Just reach out to Rocco. It's at Camp Hero. There's some underscores in there, but you'll find it. Reach out to him on how you can get it, and he will get your money. It's $100, and it goes to charity, and then he'll get you the bottle somehow legally. I don't know how he's doing it. If you live in South Carolina, I can always bring it back for you. So if you're in the greater Charleston area, Just Venmo him $100 and I'll just bring it back when I come back. Transporting whiskey across state lines like a good bootlegger.
Comes natural to you.
It's in my blood. All right. Let's switch gears into the ridiculous amount of emails we get offering us opportunities for promotion.
Yeah.
So this one, I don't want to say who it was just because, I don't want to do that. Actually, I really don't care. It's up to you.
The one that
no, because it's not them. It's an advertising company.
The one I forwarded to you or another one?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't care.
All right. So it says, this is from some company that does promotions for golf clubs, golf courses, which I was going to call Tyler and be like, how legit? Let us know in the comments if you're a golfer, do you read the official course guide? Or would that be a giant waste of money for a company to put their, like if you got a huge advertising budget, you're trying to find places to put your name, I got you. But if you're trying to point it at someone, it seems to me like a huge, because I don't even know golf courses had course guides. I've definitely never picked one up. But anyway, it says, hello. We would love to feature business to be our golfers' go-to after the round whiskey.
So immediately I stopped reading right there. And then I came back to it later because I was curious. Anyways, continue.
No, I mean, it's about as far as I was going to go.
Yeah.
So it can't be your after the round whiskey. We don't sell whiskey.
Right. And I get a lot. There are a lot of those that come to the info at that I delete and never even bother sending your way to waste your time because they all assume that we sell whiskey or something of the like. And it's very evident within the first 3 or 4 sentences that you are not clear, that you're using some sort of program to scrape the internet and something on our website has given you the indication that we sell whiskey, and it's not at all what we sell.
And so I wanted to bring that up because we've had, it doesn't really, most people get it, like listeners, followers, subscribers, like y'all get it. You understand that's why you're here.
Yep.
But the way we describe, we don't ever go into this in the podcast, but we just figured we'd take this opportunity to vent a little and just explain it. So we have always been the moment after a hunt when you're sitting around a campfire and you're communicating with friends and telling stories and drinking and having a good time. That has always been the point of Whiskey and Whitetails. And to help with that, we have handcrafted some stuff that will make that moment more better. We offer whiskey classes. We can come to you and teach the classes at those events. We have since then graduated into fancy townhomes and luxury apartments and things of that nature, restaurants, whatever. All that stuff is just like, it's just come over time. It was never the intention. The intention was always the hunting side of the house.
Right.
And making content based around kind of that. And we have kind of lost our way on the content thing, but the whiskey content just does so well opposed to the hunting content. So if I just like anyone, if I spend time making a reel and it gets a fraction of the views that a whiskey reel would get, I'm going to make less of those reels. However, I don't know if that's going to be the case moving through deer season. I think we have to double down and I think we've talked about this in the past, and we've even heard it from some of our Patreon and other folks that they want to see more of kind of behind the scenes of what we're doing, whether that's out shopping and looking for whiskey, whether that's actually hunting or focusing on like you said, that camaraderie and fellowship and cultivating that, what that is after the hunt, that special moment where you spend time with family, friends, and you tell stories, you tell lies, you share some whiskey, you cook some food, and you reminisce and you create memories beyond just being in the field. I think sitting around a campfire and sharing whiskey or drink of any kind, take it all the way back to sharing mead and whatever, like it is a tradition as old as time. Yeah. And I think it's important to preserve it. I think it's important for our kids and other generations to understand. So much has been just changed over the years. There's so much focus on taking pictures and having the camera turned on yourself for the gram and for social media that I think some of the traditions and some of the some of it's been lost.
Yeah, it's just been lost, and it's lost
it's become popularized, and it's become like a thing of its own. Where if we go places like, sure, there may be a picture with music in the background and me slurring my speech, But the majority of the evening is spent doing what we're there to do
Yep.
and hanging out with people and getting to know people. It's, not everything that we do needs to be on social media, and we purposely don't put everything we do on social media.
Yeah.
But I just found it important that we bring that up because I know that there is questions about it. We get asked about it sometimes. So what exactly do y'all do? It's like, that's what we do. And if you can't put a finger on it, it's probably not in your wheelhouse, but we also do podcasts. We do YouTube stuff. We do charity events. We do all kinds of stuff. We do whatever. It's just Gus and I. We don't have anybody over us telling us what to do or what we should do.
Right.
We take input from people. We love your input. It's like our favorite thing. Nobody ever gives it to us. Everybody just says, good job and love what you're doing. Love the name. Whiskey Whitetails. But
Whiskey Whitetails. If we had $1 for every time someone walked by a booth or an event we are and said Whiskey and Whitetails, we'd be
retired.
We'd be rich. We'd be retired.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's, cultivating that experience of after the hunt, of the camaraderie, of the fellowship. That is kind of what we've been about all the, from the get go. And so if you look at our product line, they're all things that cater to that, right? We have game calls to help with the hunt. And then we have things that you would utilize afterwards sitting around the fire. We have cocktail smokers for entertaining. And then we've got, cigar accessories. And it's just all those things that sort of line up with, and we have some other ideas and some other things we're working on to bring to fruition some other products. And, I think we both would like to lean more in the future and some things we're working on and connections and networking that we're doing. We're going to be leaning more and doing more of that side of things, the event side of things, and bringing that experience of sitting around a campfire and hanging out with your friends and family to life in other places, not just at hump camp, but giving people an opportunity to come and experience that. Yeah, hunt camp. At hunt camp or deer camp.
Also, before we get into that, because that's gonna be a long road. Since we did bring up the cigar thing, I just want to let everybody know we do have a sampler going on right now with Guitars and Cigars Farm. You can get to their site from our site, but it's code WW10. You get 10% off on your whole order, not just our kit. And we're gonna start promoting that here soon. I just got mine in the mail, so I'm looking forward to busting into those. But things like that, we collaborate. That's what we do. We like doing stuff with other people. How can you help us? How can we help you? And a lot of times it's a one-way road where we're the one doing all the giving, but that's okay. We remember those things. But as Gus was saying, we have things in mind, and some of them you can't do as a day-old company. It takes establishing yourself. And so that's kind of what we're doing. We're establishing ourselves. We're getting ourselves plugged into a lot of different networks, a lot of different people, from videography to podcasting to hunting to whiskey to, you name it, events. We're doing dinners. We're working with chefs. We're creating cocktail menus for some restaurants. There's a lot of things that we're doing. And the reason we're doing that is because we eventually will get into the whole thing that we saw from the beginning, like the experience. We want to bring that campfire thing to the average person. And it doesn't have to be after a hunt. It could just be after a hard week of work. And then Friday, we got a campfire experience for you. We're not going to call it that. We have another name for it, but this camera being crooked makes my hat look crooked.
Your head's just crooked.
It could be crooked.
Big old head.
That big ass head. But yeah, we wanted to bring all that stuff to the forefront because we've been asked a lot, and people are like, so how's the company going? Like, you don't see us in Walmart because we don't want to be in Walmart. We're not doing things the way because we're not the average company, I guess. We're not really, it's just Gus and I. We're not saying, you get it. Fix me there, Gus. Tell them what I mean.
No. So what we envision and what we want, where we want Whiskey and Whitetails to be, and what we envision and bringing to people and bringing to you as the listener, the products, this podcast, these are all sort of microcosms of what the bigger picture is. As we work to bring that to fulfillment, all these other things sort of fill the gap for the time being, and are just representative of, in this case, the communication, the camaraderie, the hanging out when talking to somebody, having guests and people, the same way you might have around a campfire. And like I said, the products sort of represent some of those things that you might find useful, in those aspects. But the goal was never for this company to, take off and be the end all be all based on some bourbon barrel products. That was never,
it was never going feasible.
Yeah, it was never going to be a thing that this company, staked its claim on, and we're not going to die on a hill selling cocktail smokers. It's fun and it's got its place.
It
But at
helps pay
the
for
end,
dinner, going to Rocco's dinner. It helps pay
right?
to keep us open. It pays for our website bills. That's what it does. It pays for us to gain tenure
Yes,
in this cycle. But no,
yes,
we are perfectly aware that we cannot sell enough $50 cocktail smokers to retire, especially with everybody buying that junk ass top hat. Oh, did I tell you that I asked a simple question on a top hat smoker page?
no,
So they had an ad and they put the ad in front of me. So I read the comments and and everybody's like, blah, blah, blah. It's great that it's made in America, but, and I'm like, is it? So I start reading and nowhere does it say made in America, but what it says is we don't sell cheap Chinese junk off Amazon. Right. And so I'm looking at it and I know that it is a cheap Chinese junk, but just not on Amazon. So I asked, where is your facility that you make these at? And they replied, Charlotte. So I looked them up and there's no wood shop in there. So I replied again and said, I see where you ship them from and your receiving dock where you receive them from, but where do you make
manufacture
them?
them. Yeah,
And they deleted all my comments
ah,
because, they're getting them straight from Alibaba.
yeah, yeah. I saw, and there's another company out there that's making a similar top hat, and they have this big kit. It's full of, it's got the thing and the strainer and little canisters with all the wood chips, and you get 2 strainers, and you get a little stick to poke the strainer thing, the chips around, and you get some stickers, and it's like $70 marked down from 95. And someone commented in the comments and was like, I see, you get some extra things in this, but I'm seeing the same kit, on eBay or on Amazon for $35. What's the difference? And ours is, handmade from walnut, going on and on and on. And I didn't, but I almost hijacked that thread by posting our stuff in there and saying, this is just 2 pieces. It's just wood straight from a
Yeah.
barrel. But I didn't want to be a dick.
Cherry wood
I'm sure it would have
does not
gotten
smell
deleted
like
anyways.
cherries. We always love to say that cherry wood does not smell like cherries. Apple wood does not smell like apples. It smells like burnt wood. But anyway, we're into product promotion. But
Yeah.
we are aware, for those that are thinking it and never said it, thank you for not saying it because we would have been like, duh. But yeah, we're aware. We know what we're doing.
Yeah, we have a vision. We have a place this is going. We're very excited to be getting closer as this year especially we've seen a lot more progress, and I will give all the props to Matt having much more time on his hands and not having kids to be able to go out and network and meet people and
slutting myself around town.
Yeah, just being the company whore. But making a lot of connections. Matt's really good at reading people. Weeding out some of the bullshit early on in the process and kind of identifying people that we've been able to work with and identify how we can work with them, how we can benefit them and they can benefit us, and making some of these, or making what we have planned a reality. And we're super excited to keep working away and chipping away at it and just getting closer to that. And
just to follow up on that, just so it's clear, because a lot of those people are friends and they listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
And you know who you are. I'm not saying that anybody out there is being used by us or manipulated by us. And I hope that you know that in my genuine outreach and friendship that we've had over the past year. But I've met plenty of people that I'm not going to work with that, just aren't good. I'm not even going to, we're not interested in using people. So
no. Let me
I don't even want to use them. We're out of them. We're out with them too. This what we have planned has to be a even collaboration amongst everyone that works good for everyone. There cannot be anyone using anyone in what we have planned.
Yes, I will. And if that came across wrong, I apologize.
No, I just wanted to say it,
but I'll use the campfire as another analogy. We want to bring these folks into the fold to the campfire, the same way when you have a campfire at home or at hunt camp, right? Somebody brings the beer, somebody brings the meat, everybody's chipping in.
Perfect.
Everybody's equal. We're not looking to take advantage of anybody, but we want to build a community and to make these things happen. And we want to do it with like-minded people that we feel good about working with and experiencing this, then going through this journey with. And we've been very fortunate to meet some great people.
100%. Yep. We've, that's when people's like, what is Whiskey and Whitetails to you? Recently, that's what it's been. I've been able to make some amazing connections, meet some awesome people, have some great times doing things I never thought that I would be able to do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is to me. It's not about, we still aren't receiving a paycheck. We both work full-time jobs. Everything we do is free. And, the people that are along helping us, like the Patreon, I mean, even $3 a month, it may seem like nothing, or there's nothing I can do with the Patreon. That's fine. You don't want to be in the Discord chat. That's fine. But if you want to find a way to support us, it's a great way to do it, because that's how we keep the doors open. That's how we keep everything running. That's what allows us to take our evenings off and go do some of this stuff. So it lets us travel to Georgia or wherever we're going to meet up with these people. It helps take the burden off. Like we're paying for our gas to get to Kentucky this weekend, but one of the nights is we're going to stay for free. And like, that feels guilty, taking money from your company to pay for a night, but I think we deserved it.
But also not.
Yeah. I think I deserve a $160 room,
Yeah, same. Yeah. So for those that are new, for those that are just kind of joining this journey and are enjoying what they're seeing and what they're hearing, but are curious kind of what the end game is here, larger events that bring that experience of an after hunt campfire, that is what we're looking to bring and to cultivate and bring to the masses, so to speak. And like Matt said, it's not just those events. We have some really cool things that we've already had awesome opportunities to try, and we want to continue to do with some wild game dinner, whiskey and wild game dinners, just the whiskey classes in general.
We have a top secret dinner. I can't tell you where it's at, and we don't have a date yet, but we're doing a safari. I can't even tell you who it's with. We're doing a safari, basically whiskey dinner. So it'll be exotic meats, kind of safari themed, with whiskey at a location in Charleston, South Carolina. We have that coming. So if you live in the local area or you want to come to that, let us know, and we will set aside. We're going to set aside a lot amount of spaces for like just friends and family. But if you want to come, we'll do that as well, because the majority of the tickets are already gone because of who we're doing it with. It's like the entire organization's coming. So, yes.
And that what he just did, naming an event, it's filling up fast. If you're interested, we want to be doing a lot more of that in the future, with more events, more opportunities for people to come out and hang out and continue to build this community that we've been building for the last couple of years. So
yeah, just do cool stuff. We want to do cool stuff. We want to do it with you, and we want to do it at a reasonable price, because there's the garden and guns, for instance, stuff is like, I mean, have you looked at some of those? Like, how much was the one for in Louisiana, where you're from?
Oh God.
Did you open it? It was like,
I did. I looked at that's the blasting cast.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me look it up.
Yeah. How many days is that though? It was multiple days, I thought.
I don't know. I didn't read it. I just scrolled straight down to see the price, and I was like, nope. So it is multiple days. It's Thursday through Saturday. So that makes a little more sense, but it's still $3,400 a person.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's basically guided duck hunt and inshore gulf fishing for redfish and some other stuff they have down there.
2 fishing outings, followed by 2 morning hunts on the opening day of teal season. Throughout the weekend, guests will be treated with delicious dinners with local ingredients. So I mean, it's cool, but it's Lake Charles, so you got to get down there. Does it give you somewhere to stay? Savannah Lodge. So I guess so. So maybe that's not that bad. I can't afford a $3,400 weekend, but
no, me either. Not right now. But that's not for what you're getting. It's not bad.
Yeah, I guess that's not bad. But the point remains, we're not trying to overprice stuff. We're trying to do cool stuff with cool people and make sure everybody gets paid for their time that's involved.
Indeed.
But yeah, so until then, please continue to hang out, like, subscribe, listen to our stuff, support us any way you want. We're not going to sit here and beg for it. We want people around that want to be around. And that's all I had to say about that. We can move on.
All right, then.
Unless you had anything to close.
Nope. Sounds good.
Sick.
What's next on the agenda for today?
Well, I'm getting some new camera things, but I think it's the sun setting coming through the trees. I haven't looked. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Pulled it up. Yep. It's just shadows changing. I'm going to change that spot out, I think. Just so it's out of the shadow.
Yeah. Got to set it set it. The sun's not. You don't have it facing east or west, do you?
The sun would be setting behind it, so it is facing in a direction.
You may get a bunch of that then with the sun coming up right at it.
Yep, it was the only. I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to put it in that tight little spot there. The other thing too, I was looking at the Windy app.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out. Like I can see where they're coming from, so I'm looking at the wind, and pretty much all day it's been a blowing inshore from the ocean.
Yeah.
So I'm like thinking about stand placement and stuff, but the way that field's positioned, there's really no way to do it. I'm going to be blowing my scent.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see. I'd be curious as you continue to watch that app, how much the wind changes. Because when we hunt other places, more inland, or especially when we go to Kentucky or North Carolina, when you're in the hills and the mountains, the wind changes. It swirls. It does all kinds of stuff. I'm curious if being so close to the coast, if it's more consistent.
Yeah, I am curious as well. That's why I'm going to keep paying attention to it. The other thing I thought about is going out there one morning before hunting season, but like a month, but like soon. I guess I don't have that option, do I? Hunting season's right around the corner.
Yeah.
I was going to go out there with that 3D blind and a lens and just try and get pictures of stuff, but I don't want to go in there and spook them before opening day.
Yeah, I'd be careful. If you really want to go in there and take advantage of opening day, I wouldn't do that yet.
I think I'm going to go in there maybe next Wednesday and put corn out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go. We'll see what they do today and tomorrow morning. But I might go the day before opening day and put corn out again because they came to it the very next morning.
Yeah. That's probably a good plan, man.
That's what's weird, man, about the regular cameras because you never know if the time's set right and it's all screwed up and you can't remember what day you put corn out and it's
yeah.
So it's like with this, I can go, okay, this is what I'm doing right now while there's 4 bucks standing over my corn pile. Or,
right.
It's a lot easier for me to like link it together in my head. This is what we're doing. This is what's going on. This is what time they're out there. Have you noticed that? I mean, you don't use cell phone cameras, but does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does make sense. I care whenever I use cameras because we've talked about this on the podcast before. I'm not that interested in headgear in terms of deer. I'm more interested in filling my freezer. So I'm more interested in using the camera to pattern deer and to see when they're moving and where they're moving. And I will often put cameras kind of away from where my general shooting lanes are and where I think deer are moving through, like walking areas and trails, to get them moving through so that I have an idea of what time of the day they're moving through certain parts and which direction they're coming from. Cause that can tell you a lot as well. If they're coming from a certain direction, typically in the evenings, it's probably because they're on their way back to a bedding area from a water or a feeding source. And if the wind is not favorable on that day, then you probably should just avoid that stand altogether.
Yeah. So you don't ruin it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question about the head deer because this question was posed to me today by Andy, but if you don't care about headgear, because I don't either. And that's what she asked. She was like, if you don't care, then why are you worried about? Because I said, I'm not going to shoot that 10 point. I don't really care about the 8. I'm not going to kill that 6 point. Like, I'm not like, I might kill that split main beam deer. But other than that, I was supposed to say buck, not duck.
It's okay.
But other than that, I'm just same thing. I'm trying to fill the freezer. And she's like, if you don't care, then why would you kill him? And so I don't really have an answer for this property. But like,
why would you kill one?
Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I smoke that 10 point? Landowner aside, if I don't care about headgear.
Well, I would be more concerned with shooting the more mature deer. That's what I'm looking for. Whether it's a doe or a buck, I want to take a deer that is as mature as possible. Those deer that are 1.5 or 2.5 years. If you are interested in racks and antler growth, those have not reached their full potential yet. But they're also they haven't reached their mating potential yet either. So taking them too young, there's a lot of factors that go into it.
But they taste the best when they're young. So it's like, if you only care about the meat, you see what I mean? Right. And I'm like, I don't know how to answer the question. It's like,
well, here's the thing.
I don't just care about the meat, and I do only care about the meat.
Yeah. But in those years of the 1.5, when they start to become sexually active, to 3.5 and 4.5 years old, as they're getting older, those years of being uh, sexually active, they're producing the healthiest offspring,
Yeah.
and they are. So I think it comes down to hunting deer that are mature and taking those deer that when removed provide for healthier balance and reproduction across the board.
Right.
Same
But what
reason
about
you
in
would.
what about in my situation where I may not be able to hunt this place next year? So what do I give a shit?
I guess speaking from that perspective, if that's all you care about, then I guess there's no reason to care. But if you have an ounce of
No, I know.
conservative,
No, I know.
conservative bone in your body, I think you would be keeping a little
Yeah.
bit of um,
Well, that's why I've always liked the cull deer, the deer with the weird antlers, because most people aren't going to take them.
yeah,
And then they're not only that, but usually if it's an accident that caused it, that's one thing. But if it's a birth defect, they're now passing that along to the rest of the herd. So there is a reason to cull them. But a lot of people only get one tag in Kentucky, for instance. So who's going to waste their tag on a cull deer? I mean,
yeah,
like I would, because I don't care. I only care about the meat. Put me on a deer you don't want.
yeah,
You want them gone, but you don't want to kill them. Put me there.
right. Yeah,
That's
it's
all I'm
it's
at.
hard. Like when you read a lot of the literature, it also says that there's the deer. There's so much breeding that goes on, and deer travel and move around so much. There's no way to guarantee or know that that one buck is passing on bad genetics,
It's true.
throughout the herd. And also, there's no way to know without watching that deer for more than a few years if that's just a 1 year anomaly. It could have just, like you said, it could have bumped its head during antler growth and caused something weird that year, and it may grow a perfectly beautiful rack the next year.
Yeah.
It's hard to it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I agree. I just there was a lot to respond to it. I don't go out in the woods looking for head racks. It's not my thing.
Yeah, not mine either. I'm more interested in having food to eat, but
Yeah, and I don't fault anybody for
to
doing
each,
it. I
yeah, to
know.
each his own. If that's your thing, that's fine. And I'm not saying that if I'm hunting out and if I take a trip and I go out to freaking Iowa to hunt to where there's monster bucks, I'm not saying that I'm not going to take my time
That's
and pick a nice one either.
that's a whole different story.
Yeah,
Yeah, if I go to Texas on a ranch that I'm paying for, I'm gonna kill the biggest buck I can afford to kill.
yeah,
Because you know how they
yeah.
get every inch of growth is another like $500 or something crazy. But
If I could arrange it, would you go to Minnesota to hunt whitetail in the snow, late season?
rifle,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, okay,
yeah. If I could wear a ton of clothes and not have to move a bunch and just be bundled up,
yeah.
yeah, dude. I'm not. I don't like cold weather, but
I know you don't, but that's why I asked.
I'd 100% do it if it's rifle and I'm not in a tree stand wearing something thin so I can shoot my bow. Yeah,
Yeah, I got you.
and
Yeah,
we can go. We have an open invite to Indiana.
I know we have Indiana. We have I more or less have an open invite to Minnesota as well.
Who's in Minnesota? Her family.
Yeah, all of Jessica's family.
Yeah.
And one of her aunts owns. They have a ranch, a big farm that they hunt deer out every year. And we've been invited to. So,
They got like budding blinds with heaters in it.
dude, I think it's so open out there. I think they just kind of like sit on one side of the field in like a lawn chair. Probably.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah,
I'm down.
I'll
I'm
find
down
out.
to hunt anywhere. Can you bring the meat back? Does it have CWD?
Good question. Don't know, but I don't see why if we're not bringing back the neck or the
Yeah.
brain, just the spine of the brain, we should be fine. Speaking of
Yeah.
spine, tangent. My dog, we got test results back from that spinal tap she had to have. So
Looking like.
they confirmed that she has canine immune mediated polyarthritis.
What does that mean?
It means that her immune system is turned on her and is attacking her joints, including her spine. And she had it. They have flare ups, so that's why the flare ups can cause, obviously, with the spine, nervous system issues. That's why she ended up making a mess all over the house, and then sort of laid down outside and was just. I thought we were gonna have to have some tough conversations with the kids that day. It was not looking good.
Yeah, that's what you told me.
Yeah, but she's fine now. She's gonna have to take a really small dose steroid basically for the rest of her life to keep it under control. But other than that,
That's
she should
it.
be good. Yeah, that's it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, cost me $5,000 to figure that out, though. Which sucks.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Man, you're a good guy.
Oh, believe me, Jessica and I had some conversations. I was like, this dog only gets one of these.
Yeah. So what's for sale? What can I buy cheap right now?
I have a kidney you can buy if you want. I sent you
What am I
that
gonna do
post
with
that said
your kidney?
you're not broke. You're just using one kidney.
Yeah.
Oh man,
You could sell a testicle. You're not using them anymore.
oh, I could sell both.
Dude, if you find a reputable shop that buys them, let me know.
Full shop like we're selling car parts.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean,
I could use a little extra cash flow right now myself.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it at all.
I don't know what the downsides are. I've never looked into it, but I mean, honestly,
We're on the TRT is in full swing. I don't know what I need them for.
Yeah, that and like the older you get, I think testicular cancer becomes more of a worry.
It's preventive. It's preventative.
Yeah, just take them out. You got to get rid of them before they get cancer.
Yeah, I'm gonna start looking this up, man.
Let me know. I'm down. We'll do see if they do it. If they'll do a double nut mansectomy or whatever it's called.
A group discount?
No, a group promotion. Like you and a friend, refer a friend, you get $500 or whatever.
Have half the Patreon show up.
Dude, I could probably bring a lot of people. If it's like 10 grand, I bet you I could pack that place.
I've heard it's more than that.
Really?
I've heard like 30 to 40.
Leave a comment below if you want us to do an entire episode on how to donate your testicles.
Do a live stream.
Yeah, live stream my vasectomy. That's a true story.
That is a true story. Oh, damn. All right. On that note, I think we've covered enough for the day.
Okay. Yeah.
Was there anything else we wanted to talk about?
No, that was really all I wanted. It was just one of those, back-to-back things where we've been asked so much this week. We got hit up a few times to do some collaborations this week. Some stuff that means something that is going to hopefully go somewhere. And and I just figured we just come out and say it. I don't, and I might clip some of it and make it a reel.
Do it
for the gram. Do it for the gram.
For sure.
Instagram eats first. All right. I'm going to go break my fast and
sweet.
And make food or something. Actually, I'm having peanut butter and jelly for dinner. I've been looking forward to it for a hot minute.
That sounds great. Do you do like a triple decker?
What I do is toast the bread and then let the bread cool down because I don't want it to melt the jelly. And then you get a nice crunch.
Should do 3 pieces of bread. Peanut butter on the outsides. And then the middle one, you do jelly on both sides.
Yeah.
Three tall. It'll change your life.
I should do that. Or what if I just do 2 peanut butter jellies and then
it's not the same. There's texture. There's texture to the density of those 3 pieces.
Should I toast the middle piece?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Toast the middle piece, not the outsides.
Or toast just the middle piece so that it's soft.
That's what I'm saying.
And crunchy.
That's what I'm saying. Toast just the middle piece.
Ooh, I'm going to go try that now.
I'm going to do it.
Jessica's going to be pissed because she just cooked dinner, but I'm going to fuck it up.
I got to know.
Let me know.
All right. Everybody go make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Love you. Bye.
Bye.